Hello, dear listener, and thank you for tuning in. Today is the 25th of November 2019. This is a philosophy audio sort of diary, I'd say. I have some things that I need to just sort of get out. I'm constantly battling and so frustrated with the polarization between the two ideologies of individualism and collectivism. On the one hand, you have the individual, the person who wants to live his life the way that he wants to live his life. He wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to be ruled. He doesn't want any rules any arbitrary rules placed on him to live a life that is worth living and a fulfilling life. And then on the other hand, you have people that believe that the society, the race, the group, the country, the nation, and so on, is above and over the individual. On the one hand, I would say that the individual doesn't mind being part of a great country or a great nation, but it doesn't come first and foremost. Now, a rational, I think, well, when I say this, what comes up and what comes to mind is that yes, but obviously, because if you're a successful person and you're part of the bourgeoisie class, then why would you feel like you have to stand in solidarity with a majority of people? It's a good point. It's a good point. Obviously, some people are better off than other people, and those people that are not as good, as well off as the people that are better off. I refuse to use the words bourgeoisie and proletariat because I think it's okay. So that makes sense. And unions get formed and so on, and that's understandable because people need to make sure that, like their human rights aren't being infringed on and so on. But what I find very interesting is that these collectivist thinkers, the philosophers, the brains for collectivism, for the case for ultimate collectivism, which is socialism and communism, is that the problem is, and the nature of reality and human nature is power struggle and power structures. So how do you get rid of inequality? You destroy power systems of power and make everyone equal, right? Except for the people that run everyone's lives, except for the people that are supposed to make sure that everyone is equal. Are those people? No, come on. I say this again and fucking again. It's so true. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So why wouldn't corrupt individuals reach the highest points and the highest positions of power in a structural society that has been set up specifically to avoid ultimate and centralized power? It really, if you start thinking about it, it becomes so ridiculous that you start questioning whether this is a fucking hoax or not. But we know it's not a hoax because in the 20th century, 100 million people died because of this experiment. Oh, but the majority, it's all about the majority, more people, right? So it's, and George Orwell asked the question, like, are socialists and these collectivists, are they driven? Are you driven by jealousy or hatred, perhaps? Jealousy, maybe. Or is it a true compassion for the people that aren't doing as well? What would be really logically consistent is if you remove barriers from from capitalists. Guess what will happen? They'll create jobs. And oh man, all right, I'm already done here. It's just, I feel like this is a point that's being repeated all the time. So but it's something that's really bothering me. It's bothering me so much, and it's been talked about, and I find it ridiculous that we are still facing problems of hardcore socialism. We are facing problems of the violation of property rights, of making the exact same mistakes as every other failed socialist experiment in history. The exact same things. Why? I think it's two things. I think from the guys that are in charge, it's pure lust for power. The secondary guys, I think it's lust for monetary gain. And for everyone else, it's hatred. And that hatred has been manufactured by the top, from the top. That's what I think. And I find it so obvious. Am I the only one? Am I the only one here sitting talking about philosophy in South Africa? It's great talking about headlines and condemning them. What the fuck are we doing, guys? Seriously. People that literally in South Africa, I've seen on social media on more than one accounts, would love to murder me. They'd love to murder me because of my ideological beliefs. And guess what? I don't want to murder them. I honestly don't. Okay. Thank you very much for joining and listening. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Makes me feel better about myself. And it also, gives me a little bit more a reason actually to record these. I'll do it anyway, but if I have more subscribers, I'd probably just put more effort into it and not just babble on and blah, 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 and maybe write things down and think about it. Okay, I'm tracking on. Thank you so much. Good night, good afternoon, and good morning.